coming. Welcome to the future of Colorado football.
Yo, what's poppin', people? Your boy Snacks is back in the building with another banger. You know how we do. Before we get down with this get down, I need y'all to do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section. As we on our way to 15K, then we gonna move to 20K and get our thing on. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget the member section is still open. You can join the member section and you'll get exclusive videos that no one will get probably for a while. But anyway, let's get into RICO Knows Who Don't Knows Nothing. Tell another lie. Let's get it.
Hey YouTube, RICO Knows here. It just got reported that Colorado lost $9.9 million in the athletic department last year for fiscal year 2023. And a lot of people are shocked by this. They can't believe it. They don't believe it. They're saying, hey, Coach Prime, the Prime effect. He sells out games. He's got all the revenue is popping everywhere. The city's richer than ever, all this stuff. And the reality is all those studies that are reported upon, all the things that people talk about, all that is estimations. None of it is a fact. The facts are very clear. You have to put it on a balance sheet somewhere. So if you guys aren't familiar with how, accounting works, the fiscal year for college football and college athletic departments, or all departments, I think it starts and ends in July and August, July timeframe. So when they say that they lost money, there's no way to hide it. It has to be there for budgeting purposes. But I want to break this down so everybody understands. I don't want to get too in the weeds. I don't want to be boring for you guys. But the fact of the matter is Colorado went into 2023.
Now, see, there's a major problem with all of that. What he tells you is the problem that Colorado started 2022, 2023, and Prime lost a lot of money. What he doesn't tell you is that the fiscal year is counted July to June. So the fiscal year of 2023 started in July of 2022, ended in June of 2023, which means Coach Prime was hired in December of 2022, which means that was only 6 to 7 months of Coach Prime.
With a fair amount of debt and no amount of revenue from the football team was gonna overcome that, because they lost money on TV deals, they lost money on a conference realignment, and yes, they lost money when firing Karl Dorrell. So losing all of that money, you couldn't make up for it. I'm going to show you what the biggest issue is for me. I'm going to point it out in black and white lettering, and I'm going to break it down for you guys. So if you're looking at this, it starts off, and the story starts, shout out to Brian Howell, writing for buffzone.com. It starts $9.9 million fiscal year 2023. That's the loss. And if you look at it and you look a little closer, they start talking about some other things that are very important to me. First and foremost, right here, Colorado's conference redistribution or distribution came in at roughly $33.1 million. That means Colorado got paid $33 million for being in the Pac-12. Among all TV deals, that's basketball, football, track and field, it doesn't matter what it is. So total wise, they got $33 million, compensated $33 million by the Pac-12. That was considerably lower than they estimated. They estimated it coming in at $39 million. You get $33 instead. So you're short $6 million right then and there. So if we're looking at the loss of $9.9 million, $6 million of it can be blamed on the conference. Okay, and this is because, as they say in here, Comcast overpaid all the schools in the Pac-12 for about a decade. So Comcast doesn't owe them that much money anymore. And that's what that comes to. Then you have Karl Dorrell getting fired, roughly $8.7 million left on his contract. If you look at it here, severance payments of $7.32 million. Now, a portion of that goes to Karl Dorrell, a portion of that goes to anyone on his staff, whoever was allocated a certain amount of money out of that. Also, retirement plans and benefits come out of that payment as well. So anybody who used to be on the staff or maybe retired back in the 70s and they're still getting a paycheck, that's part of the budget, and that comes out of that pot of money. But if you're doing the math, $8.7 million were on the books that shouldn't have been there, and they lost $6 million from the conference. So that right there is $14.7 million that they wouldn't have lost or they shouldn't be in the hole on. But you could say that about everything. Everybody does their budget on paper and then things go wrong, right? I remember doing this. I put my budget on paper one day back when I was about 18, 19 years old. I had my first apartment and I said, I'm clearing $600 a month. I figured in about 10 months, I'm gonna have $6,000. What happened? 10 months went by, I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I didn't have $1,000 in the bank. Why? Because all of a sudden, toilet broke, somebody broke into my car, I got a flat tire on the way to work. So many things go right and wrong, and the same thing happens in athletic departments. You can foresight and have all these things planning, something's gonna go wrong. But for right now, hard numbers, $14.7 million that they shouldn't have had in debt, but they did, and that equates to a $9.9 million loss.
So we've determined that $14 million in debt off the top of the season, before the season even started, because it was already determined that Colorado was moving into the Big 12 before the season started and before we even played our first football game. So Colorado is $14 million in debt going into the season, ended the season $9 million in debt. So how is prime the cost of Colorado losing money? But it gets worse. He digs this hole even deeper with the shit that he says out of his mouth. Let's listen.
Okay, so far. Now you keep going. Oh, by the way, they talk about it here. Corey Hilliard, the Colorado Senior Associate Athletic Director for Business Operations, came out and said, hey man, we foresaw this too late in the fiscal year. We didn't know. If you don't remember, the Pac-12 collapsed late in the fiscal year. It was June timeframe when they announced they weren't going to be around anymore. That's when Colorado jumped ship, right? June, was it May, June, July, the latest, when everybody was waiting on this TV deal to come through. It never came through. That's what happened, and that's when they found out they were going to get a loss for the fiscal year, for the upcoming fiscal year. Now, with that being said, you look in here, Colorado Athletic Department revenue, $127 million was their, athletic department expenses was $127 million. Revenue was $117 million. Now, $117 million Coach Prime and all the boys made for the athletic department. The other sports departments are included in this, other teams, but it's really primarily the football team. And the fundraising they're getting, or the alumni donations, are because of the football team. Let's be real. But let's talk about it. $117 million is the record for them. Previous high for their revenue was $89 million. So they definitely made about $18 million more than they've ever made. That's huge, right? But the cost went from $92 million to $127 million. Whoa, that's a lot. That's a huge increase. As a matter of fact, that increase in itself is $35 million. Your revenue was not $35 million. Your revenue was, $28 million. So there's a $7 million delta there. There's a $7 million difference. I apologize for getting the numbers wrong while talking. But if you look at the story, it also says something here, and this is the glaring red flag for me. It says $27.8 million in institutional support. This is the part people are overlooking right here. The revenue that they're counting the athletic department doing included $27.8 million in institutional support, significantly higher than the $7 to $9 million in previous years. Here's the problem with that. That revenue comes from grants, and you can read it down here. There's a grant that they got from the Higher Education Relief Act, which is the relief fund, which is from COVID. They got another here, but the reality is $20 million given from donors, which is $4 million more, or $16 million more than the $4 million they got the year before. So they got $20 million from donors, $7 million from the schools in funds and grants and all these different things. Here's my issue. When you say $27.8 million in institutional support, that is code. That is code for, we have money allocated to other departments, and we have reallocated that money to you guys in the athletic department. We need you to succeed, so we're pushing money to the athletic department. Oh, by the way, that's the money that pays for Coach Prime's salary.
So now, here we go with the first part of this lie. He didn't explain that the fiscal year starts out in July of 2022 and ends in June of 2023. Coach Prime wasn't hired until December of 2022, really wasn't on campus till January of 2023, So we got a 6-month time period where Coach Prime is making moves, doing things, adjusting things. But in that 6 months, he's made the program more money than they've ever made in the lifetime of this program. Well, that's not even counting ticket sales, because they in this fiscal year, they don't get to play ball games. This is all stuff that's pre-done. This is t-shirt sales and sweaters and season ticket passes and things of that nature. The money hasn't even been spun yet. He hasn't earned it, but you started the season with a $14 million deficit. So, where's the lie? Let's listen to it, because it's finna get greater.
It's the money that pays for everybody on staff and their salary. That $27 million is great and all, and it's cool that you pushed it to the athletic department. But the problem is when the athletic department is finally green and finally profitable, which is what the propaganda stories are going to tell you next year. Just remember, the profits come in, and those profits will be reinvested into the athletic department and not the departments they just took the money from. They just took $7 million off the table from the science department, the English and literature department, the music department, whatever departments there are out there, the drama department, I don't know. But they're taking money from the other departments, pushing it to the athletic department, and the athletic department's return needs to be positive with that money. And as of right now, it's not. And I hope that people understand what a bigger issue this is, because when the athletic department is positive with that money, it's not going to be reallocated back to those departments that just lost their funding. That's problematic. From a big scheme of things, that's very problematic. I need everyone to understand this. This is like, and I hate to use the analogy, but this is like spending money on your girl so she can start her business, and then she starts her business and it eventually starts making money, and it never gets back to your bank account. It just keeps going back to her business. It just keeps going back to making her more money. It doesn't do anything for your bank account. Once you gave it, it's gone. That's a problem.
And there's where we call BS on what this man is talking about. He knows not of what he speaks. Now, let's play devil's advocate here. Well, we're not. Let's say Alabama. I'm from Alabama. I know these things. In school, Alabama didn't have that kind of throwaway money before Nick Saban showed up. You know, because the football team wasn't doing too good. Yeah, the stadium was still being packed, but they weren't making the revenue that they're making now, or they've been making for the last 17 years. The extra revenue Alabama's got, they've extended it around the campus. They've upgraded facilities. Teachers have gotten raises. Departments have gotten stuff. There's satellite schools like UAB, the University of Alabama at Birmingham. That's their medical school. People don't know that. The UAB is an extension of Alabama. UAB built the whole football stadium on campus without a football team. You know where that money came from? It came from the University of Alabama, their headquartering school. So to say that Colorado that took that little piece of money from the other departments and gave it to the football program, that they won't get it back, is a straight up lie. Most of that money spent always goes back.
But we'll keep going, because people are going to be like, so what? It's the athletic. No. It's a huge deal. Here's the delta here. The department's operating budget, right? $37 million from ticket sales, a $21 million jump. That's great. You sold ticket sales. You jumped about $21 million, right? Congratulations. But what we're really talking about here is moving to the Big 12. That needs to pay you more money. So you lost $9.9 million. Why is everybody excited about losing $9.9 million? Well, because if you take away the 8.7, if you take away the influx of salary that you don't have to pay every single year, you had to move things, you had to upgrade facilities. There's just so much you had to put. But what we want to see is less revenue allocated to the athletic department. That $27 million operating costs cannot be there. You can't give the grant money to the sports department. You can't do that every year. That's ridiculous. Your university won't succeed that way, especially if Coach Prime departs. If Coach Prime leaves and he doesn't make back all the money they put into the program, they lose their ass. and they're left holding the bag. So Colorado is going to fail miserably if Coach Prime leaves. Period. And you're, well, yeah, of course they're going to lose and go back to no. Coach Prime has shown up and has been that high maintenance person. I need this operating budget to be able to recruit and sign better players and put a better product on the field. But the revenue generated does not compensate or does not meet the amount they're giving. It's just a fact. And you guys can talk about the prime effect and the economy and how much he influences Boulder and everything's popping. You can talk about all that. This is a balance sheet. This is accounting. This is real. This is not a study. Estimations say, no, estimations and studies don't matter. The bottom line does. This is not fictitious. Colorado, I hope you hold Coach Prime. I hope you keep him for as long as you can. He's very beneficial to you if you keep him. But the minute you start having to do this over and over again, reallocating money from other departments to the athletic department to keep them afloat, keep them competitive, it's going to be a failure. It can't do that. It needs to be self-sustaining. Meaning Colorado needs to get to bowl games, needs to keep winning, needs to keep selling out tickets. All that needs to keep occurring. And I know a lot of fans out here, knee-jerk reaction, yeah, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Well, it has never happened in the past. And for you to say it's going to happen, you need to understand that would mean Coach Prime has to become entrenched as the head coach at Colorado for it to be a successful tenure for the University of Colorado. Right now, it's a flash in the pan, and you're in credit card debt. You're in credit card debt. I heard you got a good job. I heard you make good money, but you're in debt. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Good luck, y'all.
Your friends don't know, and damn sure Rico don't know either. And that's his whole premise to that whole video, was if Coach Prime leaves, y'all are going to be ass out. Ain't going to be nothing nobody can do. Coach Prime has already set the stage for them to make money. As a matter of fact, Coach Prime made money last year for the football team. You can forget, when we started out this video, they started out $14 million in debt. You ended up the season $9 million in debt. So that means Coach Prime cut $6 million off of your debt already, off the top, without even playing a football game. You got to remember, a football game to this point has not been played when the fiscal year of 2023 ended for Colorado, because it ended in June. The football season didn't start until October, September. That's when the games were played. That's when the money was made. In July, what shit going on? But August, September, October, November, December, I bet you Coach Prime made a lot of freaking money. I bet you the football team made a lot of money. So let's see when this fiscal report comes out next year for 2024, how much money we made, how much money the football team generated, how much stuff was done in the athletic department for all this bull crap that Rico crying about. And his whole premise was, when Coach Prime leaves. Coach Prime has told y'all 20 million times, I'm not going anywhere. I ain't going anywhere. And people want to say that every time a job opens up, yes, his name's going to come up. And that you have no choice, because he's a freaking superstar and he's a money magnet. He makes people spend their money on him and the programs and the products that he's attached to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no two different ways to say that. Coach Prime is Coach Prime. He's been that way since college. I don't know where these guys get these outlandish ideas that somebody's going to come along and their whole thing is these people in Florida, the Florida job. If Miami job opens up, it's going to open up. We know the Florida State job is not going to open up for a couple more years because the man went undefeated last season. Where's he going to go? Unless he gets offered an NFL job and wants to go there. But Prime has told y'all that he has firmly planted his roots in Boulder, Colorado. Let it rest. Let it be. People talking about he peeked behind the curtain to see what was going on with the Washington job. That man has told y'all he doesn't want to go to the NFL. Leave that alone. But anyway, man, we're going to do enough ranting and raving about Rico because he don't know diddly worse than Bo. But We appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to leave your comments down in the comment section. Because RICO was out here hunting for subscribers and clicks and likes with these stupid videos. But we going to keep doing what we doing, calling these people out. But we out of here, man. Peace. Coach Prime.
Thank you. God bless you all, man. Be safe.